So, you know, we need an independent democracy. We want an honest democracy. You know, what I'm standing for as an independent, I think I can deliver that. It's something that's unique. You know, it's about loyalty to the electorate or loyalty to a party. You know, I don't have to answer to a party. There's no gagging there. They won't tell me what I have to say. You know, I'll say what you want me to say. But what I learnt was I didn't paper round. I would do two, and I would come back and do another one. And all the time it was tiring. You know, even at that age, I cut grass as well. You know, done whatever that I worked in Hillards, Peninsula's, and then I went and worked in a place called Sipper in St James, and then glass collecting, and I had a bed sit. You know, paid for a room. You know, I can't remember how much it was. About 15 quid to stay there, and then I lived off the bare essentials, but I had a good life. I still because I worked in a pub, I had to live a social life, ordinary person. So, but I understand their experience. I've been at those crossroads. I've made those choices. So I'm never going to promise you anything that I can't deliver. The only that I'm not in control of, one thing I'm in control of, is that I'm hands-on. I will be hands-on. I'll be listening to you. If what I don't know, what I'm unsure about, I'll be holding surgeries. I'll be contacting or asking people to contact me. You know, if you've got a view on this, if you've got experience with this, then please sit with me. You know, tell me what I need to do. You know, this is we don't have enough interaction with people in political positions, because the public are probably to blame for this. Is they put us all on pedestals. I'm a local councillor. I'm nobody. I'm just an ordinary person. But I get put on that pedestal, and then people think, oh, we can't ask him that, or we have to be careful what we ask him. No, ask me. Talk to me as an ordinary person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that next level. So local councillor's that, and I've proved already in chamber, you know, in council, I can do that. Going up to the next level puts me on a bigger platform. You've got local news, and then you've got the big mainstream media. And when you're an MP, they just want to listen and wait for you to fall. But if you've got something good, they'll jump on it. If it's an embarrassment of, you know, I'll get on there and embarrassing the party that's holding government, they're going to be all over me, aren't they? You know, look at Farage. Farage is just a single person. You know, who else really is with Reform? You know, he's a character. You know, look at George Galloway. You know, he's a character. You know, and I would be a character. We've got one pretty left, one pretty right. I want to be that one in the middle, the ordinary one in the middle. I'm just a nobody. I'm not after their fame. I don't care about that. But I'm driving forward, and I want to carry forward the importance of independent politicians. If they're all independent, I think you know, we should have a new democracy, and it should be an independent politician. So yeah, I've got 8 pledges, so 8 priorities. So we just spoke about one, which was advocate for increased local funding from central government to better support our council's initiatives and services. So that would be our services would be better if we have more money, basically. But as I say, as I've just said, if you spend wisely, we'll have more money as well.
So not just getting more money, but spending it better.
Yeah, spending it better. Yeah, just to ensure that they are. I'm sure they'll tell me they are. I'm sure I did career as a councillor. So, but yeah, so the crime thing, the combat crime, with particular focus on the knife crime and the youth. Now, as a local councillor, I have a lot of involvement with antisocial behaviour with the kids. I go up there because I walk my areas, or if somebody contacts me with a real concern, where the gangs are hanging around here, they're smoking weed and drinking and noise, I'll go up and see them. You know, I'll go in amongst them, because I'm an ordinary person. I used to be part of a gang. I was the Spencer Estate Boot Boys. We used to have Seminole Boot Boys. And yeah, so no special violence. We were just silly young boys. But well, they're good boys, really. You know, they're all good friends and that now. But yeah, it's the things you do as kids. But the gangs and things that are happening now, and it gives me a good opportunity to go and see them. I have a chat with them. I explain, like, some of the areas. It always seems to be a magnet is that they go where the elderly are because they're less likely to complain. But I try and get over to them, and I say, they'll have these hoodies up and the little balaclava thing and doing all that and smoking weed. I said, do you realise how intimidating you are? You know, just pass over. And then, well, you know, it's old people, you know, we're not going to do nothing against them. And I went, I'm not saying you are, but, you know, you get to that age, you will know where they are. They're afraid to come out their house. Some houses, some of them are saying we're closing our curtains off. We're locking our doors double. You know, we're petrified. You know, and they're here till about 10:30 at night. So I say to these boys, I say, why are you not going? Where do you live? Oh, we're going to live down the road. So why are you not doing that outside your mum and dad's house? Well, my mum and dad don't like it. You know, they go mad at us. So what you're doing then? You're coming here, and now I've just expressed that the residents around here are all intimidated by you. They're all scared and they're frightened. You leave your rubbish lying around. At that point, a couple of them, like on one occasion, what I'm thinking of while I'm describing this, they were picking the bits up, you know, and these lads have gone on. They still go by there, but they're away by 8 o'clock. They speak. This one particular guy that made the complaint on behalf of the residents, he's probably about 65, 68. Most of them are 70, 80. And he when I was speaking to him, he came out and he chatted with them. And now they have like first names and they all talk to each other, and it's almost like a little bit of a community that helps. I mean, we look at these youths and we see them like that, and this is what I express to them: is you're creating a picture that's not true, and then that's causing a divide because everybody thinks, oh, our youth, they're all bad, they're this, that, and the other. So
you like to build bridges between the
community.
Yeah,
exactly. And also for myself, is like I always say to these kids, you know, I'm a brave lad. You know, I'm not easily frightened, and I talk to them about knife crime. I talk to them about peer pressure, and I says, you know, you can make your own decision. Don't be in fear of anybody, and because of the position I sit, you know, as a local politician, councillor, I can support them. If any of them feel that they need to come and speak with me, then come and speak with me. You know, and I'll open the doors. I'll get that support from them. So basically, you know, I offer that support there. You know, and I always do that. I had an interview with college, and it was the Fred.
Fred Shand, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I spoke with one of the university, and they videoed me, and I said exactly the same. I say knife crime's terrible. But as I say, if you're part of a gang and you're in fear because they say they will do this, that, and the other, so they're threatening you, make you're scared, you're dead, then please come and see me, because I can help you. I will help you. I promise I'll help you. And it'll be exactly the same as if I become an MP. I'll have even greater power to do it. And as I say, I will be looking at things. You know, I think it's going to be very difficult to change lads that are in that system, you know, up to 18-year-olds. I think it's a case of we'll get these 10-year-olds, we'll go into schools. You know, I know a lot of wonderful volunteers that I speak with and work with and try and support as a councillor. I'd be empowering them or supporting them financially, doing what they need, understanding what they need, so they can go out and they can deliver this to the youngsters. I think if we can educate them, we can also let them know, if I become somebody that, you know, I'm an ordinary person, this MP is an ordinary person, he's not a career politician, he's interested in us, and I'm interested. I'll be there straight away for them, because I think it's really important. And if we can get that trust, we have that trust with them, that they know that somebody in power, because they think these gangs, so that'll take me to another bit when it comes to crime and everything else, is to extend on that, is we need to give more powers to these police officers. I think PCSOs are great within their communities. They're well known by the kids, and there's you can stand there and there's a banter goes between them all. It's fantastic. You know, some people might say, oh, it's a bit unprofessional. No, it's not. It's getting trust. And I know that works because when I was younger, we had boatmen, and there was a famous policeman called Peter Boatman. And I can remember him as a youth, you know, when we was kids, and people from Spencer Estate and Kingsheath will all relate to it. When Boatman caught us doing something, he'd give us a little clip round the ear. But you know, he used to come round and he was very supportive of us. But you know, he remembered us he remembered me from when I was a kid. So yeah, so that would be the crime and that. So community spaces, that links to that as well. So you know,
what are community spaces then for those
assets of community value? So
okay.
it's in that wording, assets of community value. We tend as a council to be, through lack of funding, closing them down because you can't maintain them. They're dilapidating and they're being sold. Now, who they're being sold to is another question, but we won't go into that. So you know, so ensuring the community spaces and public assets are accessible. That's a difficult one as well.
Are we talking like youth clubs here?
It's a building within a community that serves. So, I mean, I've got one where we haven't got one, or we had one, and it was sold off to somebody who was going to make that a community. I'll go in there. I'm your MP because I want to be a household name. I want to be somebody that you know you can contact, and within a reasonable amount of time, I'll come and see you. If you've got something that bothers you that much, I'll come and see you. And these spaces are really important because I can go into those communities. You know, I'm not going to disappear into that Westminster bubble. You know, I'm going to be walking the areas. I'll walk the areas as a councillor. I shall walk my area. So I'm doing it. I'm walking it well now because I've got 60,000 households to try and visit during this campaign. But it's you know, so it's very difficult. But in 5 years of being served, if you don't see me at least 5 times, then my address is on my leaflets. My address is on the polling card that you'll sign. You know, take hold of it. Come round my house and keep me at the backside. We need more money. You know, we need more money for our services. Northampton is still treated, I believe, by central government when they're funding us as a small market town. Our population suggests otherwise. I mean, we was the biggest town. We had the biggest market in Britain. Although, I wouldn't want us to have city status, and everybody can boo at me for that. I'm just, you know, Northampton's a small market town to me, and I still want it to be an old market town, or I'd like it to be. It doesn't mean to say that that's what as an MP, I'd insist on. But yeah, being called a city would more than likely bring us more funding in. So, with my personal experience of being a councillor, with the funding that we do get, you know, I've got concerns with the way it's spent. I don't agree with the way we spend that money, but yeah, so money is a big issue, you know, to bring money in. The other part is the services. If we've got contractors in there, how do we hold them accountable? I know local authorities, they struggle to hold. So are we getting value for money from them? No, we're not. We all can see that. You know, we look at our verges, look at how the grass is cut, the trees are trimmed, the potholes massively so. The second part is, or third part, is our town centre. You know, we're having all this regeneration work, this uplift, and I'm still concerned. They're not addressing the real problem. You can polish a turd, would we say? But, you know, I'm not saying Northampton is a turd, by the way. Yeah, is it going to make a difference? Why are we not looking at businesses, encouraging businesses to come back? And I know what they say, we're doing these works to encourage them. And let's see, the proof will be in the pudding. The council, I say we, the council got given some money or for a grant, and they said we'll do the Market Square. So they've done the Market Square. I think the budget was 10 million. We're now gone 4, and I heard yesterday we're actually 5 million over budget. We've all got no money. So why would we spend more? You know, why when the job was tendered for the Market Square, we said, right, that's what we got, £10 million. Why have we gone 50% over? 5 million when we haven't got any money in the first place. You know, what's happening with that contractor? Why did we only hear when they were going over budget in January? Why have we gone over another 5? And why the other month it was 4 million? And I did do a post in relation to, well, the suggested finish date would be in September, so that would equate from 4 million. 4 more months, £1 million a month. So are we going to be 8 million over? I put in a freedom of information request with regards to, I'll rephrase that. When I say freedom of information, it is for the public, but as a councillor, I asked Dan Lister, the cabinet member, for the costings for the trees that they've had in there, because I've been told that the trees paid £150,000 for a tree. So I want to know how many trees. And I've been told it's roughly 6 trees. So 3 in the market, 3 in the Abington Street. So six, what's that? 900 grand for 6 trees. I'd like to see what those trees are. I mean, what I wanted to have a look, if we're paying 150 grand for a tree, are we shopping around, or are we just...
And can you do that as an MP? So is that something you as an MP can lobby the local government and the local West Northants Council about?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like like I say, I'll always work with the council. I think my experience from working with them as a local politician, local councillor, helps with that. As I say, it ain't always about beating the council up. I know probably people might look in, if they Google my name, Councillor Paul Cart, the rebellious Tory, they may think it's all about giving the council a hard time. It's not. You know, for the council to work, I want to be involved in any way and ask them, how can I support you in doing this? And I may want to know some points of where they are, how they've got there, if there's a shortfall, well, how have you got that shortfall? How are you spending that money? You know, I may ask for that.
So that's it. So what we seem to think getting at there is, you think the way the money is not being managed and spent is the problem.
I think there's questions around that. You know, how the money's being spent, how they're working with whoever's tendering. You know, the tendering process is really important. You know, it's a bit like when we take our rubbish, we in the contract we'll have so many tons of waste that will be yearly, and what the contractor will get financially. But then the add-ons, it's the add-ons we need to look at. Are we looking at that in the tender process? You know, all things like that. You know, it might be that we're per tonne that we get rid of costs us £1,000. But if you go past, say, 1 million tonnes, and that's what you get your ballpark figure of your budget, are they charging us £5 a tonne afterwards? Has anybody looked at a little detail? Because when we look at contracts, when they're agreed, there's always that little detail that we miss, and that's really important. So, you know, it's things like that where I'll work in partnership with them. I'll ask those questions, because if I'm going to go to central government and ask them for money, they're going to say, well, learn to spend it wisely and we'll give you. Then you really know that you need it. I'll go in there, I'm your MP, because I want to be a household name. I want to be somebody that you know you can contact, and within a reasonable amount of time, I'll come and see you. If you've got something that bothers you that much, I'll come and see you. And these spaces are really important, because I can go into those communities. You know, I'm not going to disappear into that Westminster bubble. You know, I'm going to be walking the areas. I'll walk the areas as a councillor. I shall walk my areas. I'm doing it. I'm walking it well now, because I've got 60,000 households to try and visit during this campaign. But it's you know, so it's very difficult. But in 5 years of being served, if you don't see me at least 5 times, then you can. My address is on my leaflets. My address is on the polling a card that you'll sign. You know, take hold of it, come round my house and keep me at the backside. You know,
So you want to be accessible to your
oh,
constituents?
absolutely. Will be, yeah, approachable and accessible, 100%. I mean, the thing that I'm hoping to do, you know, most MPs, they'll have a second home in London and stay there. I won't. I should travel up and down every day. You know, it doesn't bother me getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to travel down somewhere and then getting home at 8 o'clock at night. But yeah, with Sally Keeble, I can remember when I lived in Spencer, she would always be walking up and down our street, and the people would come out and have a chat with her, and she'd be personal, have a cup of tea with them. And that's how I see a politician. We don't see that, and that's that. And I admire her for that. And I've got a book actually upstairs. I bought a book. I think it was around Christmas time. So, but yeah, just that. But I always said to her, I never ever voted for her, but I admired her, and I think, you know, if I do become an MP, she would have inspired me to do that exact thing.
Be like her, be accessible.
Exactly,
yeah.
100%, 100%. You know, and you know, whether with my knowledge of politics now, since being elected and seeing what it is, you know, like I think everybody follows politics like a football team, and you should look at those individuals. And I think now, if Sally was stood in my area, I probably would be putting a cross at the side of her name. And it's something you know, before I got heavily into politics, I would never have crossed that line. I'd never have gone outside of that. So I think it's really important.
Vote for the person, not the party.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And when you know, I think with myself, when it came to me leaving the Conservatives, you know, the choice was, do I toe the party line? Do I represent my constituents? You know, how do I serve them better? And hands down, coming away from the Conservative Party, I definitely best serve my constituents by doing that. So another one of my pledges, or I would prioritise the environment in Northampton, working towards cleaner air and waterways for a healthier community. So, you know, I'd like to look into our waste management, what's happening there. We're building houses and developing. Now, I'd like to look at costings from developers for our infrastructure, because we can move away from the waste plant and then cross over into not enough doctors' surgeries, dentists, hospital. You know, our hospitals are not growing. Our waste management plant. I'd like to look at money, putting some sort of charge where they contribute. And I know there are conditions on some planning agreements when applications come in, but we hear too far often in the news is that not being held to those conditions. They're getting away with it. You know, strategic planning, I think, should be decided in central government. It shouldn't be local. It shouldn't be councillors that just don't understand. You know, you can't say every councillor that sits on a committee, I know that, is aware of planning application, planning rules, no matter how much training. And there's no thought process about things like that. So I think it's important. We're putting more toilets, building more toilets with houses. And more people are going to live here. We're going to have more poo, and it needs to go somewhere. So the condition of air as well. So when we've got hold of vehicles, I mean, I'm hoping that vehicles now have got the ecosystem on them, so they turn off and turn on. My vehicle has it. I've got a diesel. We've got electric coming in, so I'm hoping it'll become better. I think if we go through like St James, we go through Kingsthorpe, two areas of high air pollution. You know, Northampton lacks a ring road. You know, I'm saying it's going to improve it. If I say to my constituents, what we're going to do, we're going to prevent you driving through Kingsthorpe. We're going to prevent you. We're going to put some measures in place to restrict. You know, we could say, well, we're going to make all town centre pedestrian only. I think the constituents would be up in arms. That's why we've got them in there. So I want to work with people. I'm not an expert. I'm an ordinary person. I'm not an expert on the environment and how it affects us, but I know there's a lot of people that come to our council meetings that's very concerned with what's happening, and I would encourage sitting on a table with them educating me with, and I'll check those facts out. It doesn't matter. Someone could give me a load of and just they won't hoodwink me 100%, but work with me, be honest, and tell me what the facts are. Like I say, I will and be hands-on with it. I will work with people that will give me that education. And as I say, and I will pledge to advocate for it. So. Supporting small and medium businesses in Northampton to promote the economic growth and local employment. If businesses are doing okay, then there's going to be jobs. So then hardship, you know, it's a knock-on effect. These things all interlink with each other. I think with small and medium businesses, I've spoke with a lot of those, and they struggle because they're overtaxed. I think we're overtaxed anyway, but with small businesses, for them to survive with their running costs, we need to look at that. We need to look at whether we can do some form of a low interest rate loan with them. We need to look at the taxes they are paying. So, you know, like with rates and everything else, you know, how can we help them? You know, I'm willing to listen to them. You know, I've got some ideas on stuff here the other day, which I give us money to those small business to encourage them for the apprenticeships and all things like that, because I would like the council to have their services back in house. When I left school, we all looked to go to the council. We didn't go to church's shoes. We went to the council, and I know a lot of lads that have been successful. And as I say lads. Normally nowadays it would be lads and lasses, I'm sure, but back in the day it was lads. And they got apprentices when they went to the council, and they bettered themselves and created small business. When they come out to do the work, they can't lay a brick. And then, like, they're expecting you to have the time to teach them, and you haven't. So I think there needs to be, if the council had in-house, we've got properties that we're building, we're giving out to contractors. I think part of the deals that should be is if you get this contract, will you take apprentices on? You know, and not do it as a profit thing. What we'll do is we'll have some money set aside which will compensate you to teach these guys, and then hopefully moving forward is that you would take them on. They will be your next generation of bricklayers, carpenters, floor layers, roofers, you know, ground workers. And that goes even with project management, you know, because they'll have a section. So I know MPH as a department that do all the builds and upgrades and everything else like that. So, you know, it's extensive of what people can become. So